Lawmakers are getting in a heated debate over a proposal to change the state's congressional districts. The bill is now on the table to redistrict Missouri in a way that would likely send one more Republican to Washington, D.C. Hannah Falcon breaks down the discussion and debate happening today.
As the Missouri House of Representatives debates the special session, there is a clear divide. Monday afternoon, lawmakers are discussing whether to change the state's congressional map, and tensions run high.
No. Let's not get up. Let's not grandstand about these sides.
The new map would likely send one more Republican to Washington, D.C. by splitting up the Kansas City area between 3 districts.
Strategy-wise, Dems don't have a whole lot of tools in our tool belt in terms of stopping this redistricting process.
Kansas City Representative and Minority Party leader Ashley Awney recognizes her limited control over the situation in a state with a supermajority Republican. But the Republican Party moves forward with their plans and says these are much-needed changes. The party's consensus reflected by the state's new Republican Attorney General, Catherine Hanaway, on Wednesday morning, that the current maps don't accurately reflect Missouri's values.
I don't think it's wrong that we're taking another look.
This debate is getting national attention. Former Vice President Kamala Harris calling Democrats last night.
I know you all feel alone right now in many ways, but know that you have so much support.
But with a grim outlook, the opposition is thinking forward to what could happen after the bill is passed.
We're likely to lose this fight today, and when we do, I look forward to the courts righting this wrong.
But Hanaway is prepared to defend the maps.
I don't think there's any constitutional prohibition on redistricting mid-decade.
A final vote will likely happen tomorrow, then the bill goes to the Senate. Reporting in Jefferson City, I'm Hannah Falcon, First Alert 4.